Bitter criticism. Reading the usual FOCAC is booming. I was watching a Cgtn video. Everything is going on, everything is happening for China and Africa. Woo, woo. Cgtn, right till the end. Here we go. Bitter criticism or breathing sweet criticism. I'm not doing any criticism. I'm a Cgtn partner, I guess. I will never criticize them. I will just drink a beer with them, with Chinese people. Today we have a beer. Well, this maybe is going to be the last episode I do right here on the floor, because my back is under pain. I'm hurting my back here on the ground. I don't know why. Ergonomical issues. Yeah, so it's really bad to sit right here on the floor and do this thing right like this, you know. I will try to be straight now. I mean, sitting straight. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the solution. To sit straight in order to avoid the back pain. Anyway, I'm cleaning up my Chilean can. Yesterday was a Chilean can. Not beer, but yeah, it's a beer. I never thought about it. Yeah, but if a foreigner come here to Chile want to buy a beer, this B definitely is a beer. So graphic design, propaganda design. Woo! Illegal to drink on the street. Illegality. But it's a nice one to have a beer once in a while. Once in 2 days, maybe. Yeah, I guess yesterday I took a beer. I love beers. I wonder why Shandong people stopped offering me beer, plant beer. Well, I don't have the ways to buy a beer plant. Here we go, Russia Today. Moscow declines to interpret Putin's endorsement of Harris. People are at liberty to speculate about the Russian president's remarks, his spokesman has said. September 6, home Russia and former Soviet Union. We have a file photograph. U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. People are free to interpret the tone of Russian President Vladimir Putin's remarks about his preferred candidate in the upcoming U.S. presidential election any way they like, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said on Friday. I like Dmitry Peskov. We have a lot in common. We have the same critic against Pavel Durov's case. He was commenting. He was commenting on the reaction to statements made by the Russian leader the previous day during a panel discussion. Putin said he favored Vice President Kamala Harris, the Democratic nominee, since she has the backing of President Joe Biden. She also laughs infectiously. Putin added, suggesting that Harris will not be as likely to impose new sanctions on Russia. I will keep reading. Peskov said American domestic politics is not at the top of the Russian president's agenda, but that he does comment on the international affairs when asked. Quote, as for his tone, people abroad who are interested in it should reflect on it. Let's not steal the opportunity to do so, the official added. Moscow will rather not be dragged into American affairs, but does not expect Russia to stop being used as a foil for US domestic politics anytime soon. Peskov said, Washington routinely accuses the Russian government of meddling and interfering in American elections, which Moscow denies. Such a weak people, the Americans, always I don't know how to say, I forgot, always memeing. The White House on Thursday rebuked Putin's remark with John Kirby, its national security spokesman, stating that, quote, he ought to stop talking about our elections, period. Meanwhile, former President Donald Trump, the Republican nominee, reacted by saying that he was not sure whether to be insulted by Putin's words or take them as a favor to him. But yeah, Trump is funny. Officials in Moscow have repeatedly denied having a preference for either candidate since they believe neither will improve US relations with Russia. And there is Luna. There is Luna, the most athletic dog ever. I just finish this and I'm going to show you Luna. Officials in Moscow have repeatedly denied having a preference for either candidate since they believe neither would improve US relations with Russia. Some US media interpret Putin's endorsement of Harris as a form of trolling, similarly to his previously expressed support for Biden. In February, he described the US leader a predictable old-school politician. Unlike Trump, Biden has since dropped out of the race amid unfavorable opinion polls and pressure from donors and party heavyweights. I will tell you a secret about life, you know. Right now I will tell you a secret. The secret is maybe Vladimir Putin did that in purpose. Maybe he's just pretending to support Kamala Harris, you know? That's the whole truth about life, people. There's a lot of politics, and politics is not straightforward. Politics is like counterintuitive, yeah. Just 1 second, Luna, just 1 second. And that's it, maybe Putin really want to be elected by Trump, really want Trump to be elected, as Trump says. He don't know if to take that as an insult or a favor. Yeah, it's a favor, of course. Putin for Harris. Let's see a video from Odyssey.
That if we can name a favorite candidate, it used to be Joe Biden, but now he's not participating in the election campaign, and he recommended all his allies to support Ms. Harris. So that is what we are going to do. So it was, well, he said that we should, that is why we should also do that.
my opinion, this is all fake. You know, this is just manipulation by Russians. All this is just not true. Understand? This is a pretty smart move, I guess. So who knows the truth? You know, that's life. You know, life is full of pretending, pretentious, and fakery, and irony too. Look, this is Luna, the best athlete in the world. Luna is Usain Bolt's dog. Can you see? She's so healthy. Again, go Luna. And Mursi is not so fit. It's not so. Mursi just like. Mursi catch very well. Mursi is the catcher. Mursi has a chronicle and he catches again. Mursi has a chronicle problem on his front leg, on his back front leg, something. So that's why she maybe is lazy. That's the truth. Maybe she's lazy. Period. Well, that's the dogs, the super dogs over there, and the boys over here. They're males, lazy males. Lazy males. What else? What else? 1 second. Well, I don't know what else.
She's laughing.
So I guess Putin is pretending, understand? The best thing for Russia, you will hear right here. Best thing for Russia is Trump. The best thing for the world is Trump again. Anyway, just one or two or three more from Russia today. Just the headlines. EU nations to give Ukraine more tanks. More tanks. I'm going to read this because this is all about Russia. This is September 6th, Home World News. EU nations to give Ukraine more tanks. German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius has announced plans for the delivery of 77 Cold War era Leopards 1A5 models. We have a photograph. Boris Pistorius, SPD-1, Federal Minister of Defense, and Charles K. Brown Jr. Not K, but Q. Charles Q. Brown Jr., Chief of Staff of the U.S. Armed Forces, talked at the Ukraine Contact Group meeting at Ramstein Air Base. Germany, along with Denmark and the Netherlands, will supply 77 more Cold War era Leopard 1A5 tanks to Ukraine. Defense Minister Boris Pistorius has announced it. In addition, Berlin intends to provide an additional 12 PZH-2000 self-propelled howitzers. He said, "I have well, those are tanks." Tommy. Those are tanks. Chancellor Olaf Scholz approved the delivery of German-made tanks to Ukraine back in January 2023. Kiev has since lost an unknown number of these tanks. The Russian military has released numerous videos showing the destruction of such hardware. Speaking during a meeting of the Ukraine Defense Contact Group at U.S. Ramstein military base in Germany on Friday, Pistorius met with Vladimir Zelensky, who attended personally in a bid to drum up more defense aid. The German minister assured the Russian leader that Berlin remains in a continuous delivery process for Ukraine. Pistorius estimated that Germany, together with Denmark, had already delivered 58 Leopard 1A5 tanks to Ukraine, with 77 more pieces of this hardware to be supplied in the near future. Quote, "We will deliver 12 modern PZH-2000 howitzers to Ukraine, with 6 expected to arrive in the country by the end of this year," Pistorius added. You can build a school with these tanks. With the price of one tank, you can build 3 schools. We went on to say that air defense remains a crucial area for Kiev, and that more hardware is needed to better fend off Russian missile strikes. According to the minister, Germany is funding the procurement of 12 IRIS-T air defense systems to be shipped to Ukraine. Moreover, Berlin has pledged more medium and close-range systems, including more than 60 self-propelled Gepard anti-craft guns. Pistorius also stressed that since November 2022, more than 16,000 Ukrainian service members have been trained on German soil. In mid-July, the Bavarian daily Müncher Merkur, citing government data, claimed that Germany had secretly delivered a huge defense aid package to Ukraine between late June and early July. The package reportedly included 10 Leopard 1A5 tanks, among other hardware. The media outlet also alleged that at the time that Berlin planned to send by an unspecified date 85 more tanks of this type to Ukraine as part of a joint project with Denmark. Moscow has consistently warned that deliveries of Western weapons to Ukraine only serve to prolong the bloodshed without changing the course of the conflict. Definitely. I'm kind of not shocked, but kind of I don't know exactly the word, but I'm disappointed, but I cannot be disappointed because I'm not Danish, I'm not a Netherlands citizen. I'm an Italian citizen. And that's sad, because that's really sad, because NATO is they just don't stop. They don't understand. They lost. They cannot invade Russia. They cannot do this. Well, maybe they are just burning. They are just burning whatever they want. They are doing some politics too. What can NATO countries do? What can Western Europe do? They have US as an ally. The United States, it is an ally of Western Europe. They have done more than business. They have done geopolitics. Western Europe is more than, it's not just economy. It's more like geopolitics. It's like military stuff. This is all about military. It's not about culture. It's about military. It's about only war. Chile, for example, right here in Chile, some Chileans may say we have a developed country here. We are better than Bolivia, let's say. I don't think so. I think Chilean people, they are suiciding. Some breaking news from Chile. There was a boy, a medicine student, in some public university here. They suicide. It was medicine student suicide. A lot. This is another case. This is just another case, not related to infanticide in general from rich kids. Rich kids committing infanticide too. So these people, they are. And let's get Freudian. I guess Chilean people, they have Freudian problems. They have problems with sex. They have this romantic approach to life. Sex is a complete taboo in Chile. And well, maybe that's why I'm not suicidal. Maybe that's why I'm cool. I'm cool. I don't know. With financial problems, maybe, yeah, but I'm cool. With dogs, okay. I have no socioeconomic taboos. Social status taboo. I have no sex taboos. Nor like Chileans. So Chileans are suiciding. Chileans are committing infanticide, and Chile, they pretend to be a Western country. They do whatever OCDE. Do you know that? Do you remember OCDE? Well, Chilean people, they are very proud of being a member of OECD. Nobody knows what that is, isn't it? In the world, OECD doesn't exist. Nobody knows what the hell is OECD. Well, Chileans, that is the only certificate of Chilean people. That's the only thing Chilean people think about. We are an Western OECD country. Embarrassing, but anyway. And they, of course, they think a lot about soccer. Yesterday they lost. I don't say we lost because I give no shit about soccer anymore. I just don't care. Zero fuck about soccer. Soccer is for kids. Tommy. Anyway, and then there is Europe. I guess they are just burning tanks down. They are just burning the waste they have. I don't know details. I don't have details about. I don't have details about Europe war industry, but definitely they are just burning Cold War tanks. They are just burning garbage in Ukraine. It's not a bad deal, understand? It's not a bad deal. They are just speculating. They are speculating. I cannot say good things about Brazil neither. This. I have some nemesis. Well, I'm pretty humble. I am a pretty humble guy. I don't even have a name. I don't even have a name. Nobody knows my name. I don't have a name. I'm just bitter. From bitter criticism, I just do some criticism. I do some the contrary of criticism. I don't know any. I honestly don't know what's the opposite of criticism. Just 1 second. Cgtn. But this Brazilian teacher Lejan, who his reference is New York Times. Lejan reference is New York Times. The opposite of criticism. ChatGPT says the opposite of criticism is praise or compliment. Yeah, I do a lot of compliments here. I always making compliments for Cgtn, Russia Today. That's it. I am a critic of the West, just like Russia Today and Cgtn. I guess my bigger ally is Cgtn. Sometimes Maria Zakharova Sometimes Russia Today, they don't understand, they forget in which world they are living in. Maybe Russia is getting defeated. Maybe Russia is losing. Who knows? Let's keep reading Russia Today. Is Russia losing? That's the question. How will be the future of Russia? Russia Today editor-in-chief to sue BBC. Oh, this is a beautiful one. Margarita Simonian. I love her. She's beautiful. September 6th. Home, Russia and former Soviet Union. I just have compliments to Margarita Simonian, Russia Today editor. Margarita Simonian has accused the British state broadcaster of defamation. She's beautiful. Anyway, Russia Today editor-in-chief Margarita Simonian has said that the British Broadcasting Corporation's profile of her merits a defamation lawsuit in Russian court. The BBC had one of their Ukrainian employees put together. Who is Margarita Simonian? Feature on Thursday. After the U.S. accused Russia Today of meddling in American elections. Quote, Simonian is not just at the head of Russia's external propaganda operation. She is also heavily involved in internal messaging and regularly appears on Russian political TV talk shows. Katerina Kinkulova. Funny name in Spanish. Let me tell you. Quote, her public views are now indistinguishable from Kremlin policy. Kinkulova added, claiming that Simonian, quote, has been described as the Kremlin's top propagandist and ideologue, almost pure Putinist than the Russian president himself, without saying by whom. Commenting on her Telegram channel, Simonian called Kinkulova's article, quote, British propaganda in all its glory and originality. Quote, of course, I never said anything like this, Simonian added, referring to some of the quotes attributed to her in the article. Quote, but I think I will sue the BBC. They have a bureau in Moscow. Let them eat a little dust. That last phrase is a reference to a well-known remark by Russian President Vladimir Putin, who used it to warn Russian businessmen not to trust banks and governments in the West. U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland claimed on Wednesday that Russia Today has acted as an agent of the Kremlin to, quote, undermine our democratic process, as well as spreading anti-Ukraine content online. According to Washington, Russia Today spent billions of dollars to produce content for American audiences via a media company in Tennessee run by several conservative commentators. The U.S. authorities acknowledged that the content did not seem politically charged, but claimed it somehow advanced that they claimed to be Russian government interests. Simonian has laughed off the allegations about Russia Today on herself, saying the U.S. establishment will be reduced to, quote, scaring penguins if they didn't have Russia Today as a bogeyman. Quote, stop feeding my vanity with your fast food bourgeois comrades, she wrote on Telegram on Friday. I will get as fat as a hog, and I will have to put it on a diet. You know, things are getting complicated to understand. I didn't understand everything. But what I will do is right away, is find this beautiful woman on Telegram. Because there's a channel, yeah. 2 channels. She's so beautiful. She's she's not young, but she's beautiful. She's the classical Russian woman. I mean, she looks like she's white, yeah, for sure. She's white. She's a beautiful white woman. She looks like a doll. A Russia Today chief, 100%. So yeah, unfortunately, it's all in Cyrillic. It's all Cyrillic. So as we are on Telegram, let's read some Pepe Escobar from Telegram. Pepe Escobar is talking about Pavel Durov. Yeah, I'm going to read the very last one. The very last one. We have a read Telegram. Oh, Pepe Escobar is with 2 beautiful women in Vladivostok. With the Vladivostok showgirls. Yeah. Well, we have maybe this is a tweet. And again, the unsealed charges against Durov. This is a retweet from Geopolitics Live. This is a tweet from Andy Yan. The unsealed charges against Durov are insane. If sustained, I don't see how tech founders could possibly travel to France, much less hire in France. This is economic suicide and is rapidly and permanently changing the perception of founders and investors. But don't get all this news wrong, kids. You should learn IT. You should study IT. IT is the future. How you will program a cyber geisha. You should know IT to better understand your sexual partner. I'm not kidding, you know. You have to understand AT to survive in the future, you know. To don't be in order to not being a victim of machines. Yeah, you have to rule over machines with AT. That's it. Anyway, and then we have Vitaly Sokolov. That's insane. He doesn't even create the content. He's just a platform. Yeah, I will repeat my example of rice agricultures. Imagine you are a Chinese rice agricultural of rice agriculture for anywhere in the world. Let's say you are a Brazilian rice agriculture, a Chilean rice agriculture, and suddenly you are doing very badly in finances, and just like that, some terrorists eat your rice. You will be charged for feeding for I don't know how to say you someone buy your rice and then commit an atrocity. You will be charged by collaboration of terrorism. That's insane, you know. That's the end. This is the end, folks. This is the end of West. That's it. There's no more West. Brains gone out. Brains just gone. The brains just gone. Anyway, Matt Wick. Why all the media hates on everyone who creates platforms for free speech, fight against injustice and dictatorship and dictatorships? There's always some lame made up excuse. Yeah. And then this is from Pepe Escobar Telegram. Durov faces charges under archaic cryptography laws, hinting at French spying on private communications. 2 of the 6 charges facing Telegram CEO Pavel Durov in France are grounded and obscure. Never use 20-year-old law obliging companies providing cryptography tools to inform the French cybersecurity agency, French acronym ANSSA, and granted access to the software's source code and, quote, a description of its technical characteristics. The 2004 law, unlikely blunt in its demand that companies divulge info about the tech tools used for private communications, is being used against Durov by accusing him of providing encrypted communication services without certified declaration. The law further means, if it is applied evenly across the board, that the array of instant messengers available to French users, from WhatsApp and Signal to iMessage, and the French made all its secure messenger used by the French government, do comply with the NSA regulations, meaning French intelligence can potentially spy on any or all French users at any time. Adding credence to this idea is the fact that Pavel Durov is reportedly the first ever tech mogul to be charged under the 2004 law, and the fact that many big-name tech companies have been silent on the Durov case, with the exception of Proton CEO Andy Yan, who characterized the charges against the Russian-born tech mogul as economic suicide, thus rapidly and permanently changing the perception of founders and investors toward France. There's a quote: "If sustained, I don't see how tech founders could possibly travel to France, much less hire in France. Yan wrote on his X account. The law is also reminiscent of the case against WikiLeaks co-founder Julian Assange, who was threatened with decades of jail time by the US under the Obscure Espionage Act on 1970. The Obscure Espionage Act is from 1917, more than 100 years ago. Julian Assange, even though, well, maybe that's just symbolic, because as everybody knows, 1917, it was the Russian Revolution there. Even though that he was not an American citizen and a publisher, not a spy. Anyway, yeah, it was not a spy. So I'm going to choose the last one. The last one from today. I just going to read Cgtn. We all going to die someday, but in life we have Cgtn to have some hope in the future. China, Africa, new chapter. This is all about nowadays in Cgtn in China. I guess I read this. Yeah, I read this. Chinese Foreign Minister says 2024 FIO-CAC Summit achieves complete success. September 6, 2024, the 2024 Summit of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation opens in Beijing, capital of China, September 5th, 2024. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi stated on Thursday that the 2024 summit of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, FOCAC, has achieved complete success. Wang, also a member of the Political Bureau of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of China, made the remarks when meeting the press together with Senegalese Foreign Minister Yassine Fall and Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of the Congo, Jean-Claude Gakoso. Elaborating on the major outcomes of the summit, Wang said bilateral relations between China and all African countries having diplomatic ties with China have been elevated to the level of strategic relations. The overall characterization of China-Africa relations has been elevated to an all-weather China-Africa community with a shared future for the new era, Wang said. 6 major proposals to advance China-Africa modernizations have been put forward, Wang said. The blueprint for action to advance China-Africa cooperation has been mapped out, he said, adding that Chinese President Xi Jinping has announced 10 partnership actions for modernization to deepen China-Africa cooperation for the next 3 years. During the summit, China and Africa agreed to firmly support each other on issues concerning their respective core interests and practice true multilateralism. They also agreed to oppose prejudice, address historical injustice, and advance modernization to make it benefit all people, Wang said. The summit has demonstrated the Global South's firm confidence in solidarity and cooperation, Wang noted. According to Fall and Gakoso, Africa-China cooperation has changed the fate of Africa and will surely go down in history as a model of international cooperation. Africa is ready to work with China and implementing the outcomes of the summit and the consensus between the two sides, deepening Africa-China friendship and realizing shared development and common prosperity, they said. Sources, Xinhua News Agency. And that's it. Maybe I've read this before. I don't remember. This is one of the last videos I do. It's one of the last videos I do about Daniel Hadwe. But it's better to do this because if you put some music, YouTube will censor you.
La restricción del derecho necesaria en una sociedad democrática. En este caso hemos ido analizando que los 3 criterios, a mi juicio, limitantes para dar aplicación a la privación del derecho no se están ajustando a lo que en este caso en concreto se ha podido ir relacionando. Perseguir un fin ilícito, no una anticipación de pena, y constituir una limitación o un medio idóneo o apto para alcanzar el fin. Se pueden obtener a través de las otras medidas cautelares que fui indicando y resultar el menoscabo o limitación al ejercicio del derecho proporcional al beneficio del fin ilícito que se persigue. Entonces, entendemos que las otras medidas cautelares, en este caso en particular, con la extensión de la prisión preventiva, por los efectos, en definitiva, de la ley 18.695, por el estado actual de la Asociación Chilena de Farmacias Populares, por todo el conocimiento público que tiene este caso, el hecho sería irrepetible y estará a resguardo entonces con las medidas cautelares ambulatorias de diversa entidad la seguridad de que el imputado comparezca a los actos de procedimiento, de conforme al 122. Entonces, entendemos y recordamos que incluso no habiendo medidas cautelares de ninguna especie antes de la formalización, el imputado, pudiendo salir del país, decidió terminar el intento de viaje que tenía y prefirió estar presente a los actos de procedimiento para que no hubiera ninguna duda de que se presentaría a los actos de procedimiento. Aquello, en definitiva, unido a su irreprochable conducta anterior, su larga trayectoria en el país, permite estimar que sí estará disponible los actos de procedimiento, como en definitiva lo demostró con esa actividad en concreto, omitiendo un derecho que tenía, que era entrar y salir libremente del país, toda vez que no tenía ni orden de detención ni medida cautelar vigente. ¿Qué solicitan?
Señoría, nosotros en principio hemos solicitado el arresto domiciliario total, la prohibición de salir del país, prohibición de acercarse con víctimas, testigos o peritos en la medida que ellos no afecten su derecho a defensa y el control de la autoridad.
I just remember something about Chile and Africa and FIO, CAC, and so on, that there was a African president saying that they don't want just to buy, they don't want just to buy EVs, you know. They don't want just to buy electric vehicles. The question is, this capitalist issue is very sensitive, because this is the Chinese business, you know. I wonder if China will implement some EV plants to produce EVs on Africa. I'm not sure about that. It's a very, very tricky issue, because everybody with some neurons, with some brain, wants industry in their countries, but China, we will see. It is a geopolitical issue, because if China doesn't do that, Africa will remain poor, and if Africa remains poor, is a good spot for American imperialism, understand? So maybe it's a good business for China in geopolitics to develop Africa.